Amazon, that the Southport killer bought his knife. Amazon is owned by Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos was sitting behind Donald Trump at the Trump inauguration. Oh, slam dunk. Oh, you have to be so careful. As an ordinary citizen, I can't diagnose medical conditions, so I certainly can't say that somebody has a mental illness. All I can say is that sometimes some people develop attacks of apophenia that come perilously close to resembling a mental illness. Right, I hope I've got that right. I'm Granniopteryx. I'm on YouTube, Rumble, BitChute and Minds. Let's start with LBC, which started out life as the London Broadcasting Company. And it says here, talk radio for the UK, letting you have your say on the big issues. Now, whether you think someone like James O'Brien actually does let people talk about the big issues is a subject we could talk about for hours, because from what I've heard of him, I don't listen to him that often, I have to admit, because I find him both unfair and cruel. And he uses the fader, you know, the button that, I don't know whether they still actually have physical levers, but you fade down a voice or up or whatever. He uses the fader far too often, and he pushes his point of view very loudly over the opinions of other people. And one would say he is aggressive. I would say he's aggressive and closed-minded and very, very woke. Now, let's just go back to LBC for a moment. They started out life as the London Broadcasting Company, but then they went woke, and suddenly now the title is not the London Broadcasting Company. They've stuck to the LBC. Oh no, some guy thought he had a really great idea. Let's call it Leading Britain's Conversation. That's the name of the company now, as I understand it. I may be wrong. If I am, let me know in the comments. So, Leading Britain's Conversation is, I actually have spent quite a while thinking, what does that mean? Is this a verb, like we are leading Britain's conversation, or is it an adjective, as Britain's conversation being the noun and leading being a verb describing it? It doesn't actually make any sense one way or the other. If it's a verb, the subject is missing. And if it's an adjective, it's not the title of a company. Well, yeah, all right. It's very typical woke speak, though. And so it should be no surprise when you get people like James O'Brien pushing what seems to be an utterly mad line of thought. So let's just talk about the Rudakabana business again. And it says here, I don't know why, this is the Express. He attended a dance studio? No, he broke into the place. What are they saying? Oh, well, anyway, where he killed 3 children and injured 10 others. It has since been revealed by the Home Secretary that the assailant admitted to carrying a knife more than 10 times, but was still able to buy a blade on Amazon. I don't even understand that. An Amazon spokesperson said the company had launched an urgent investigation in relation to this tragic case. Look, I can buy knives on the internet. They're talking about extra extra verification and even live video to prove you're the right age. AI can do anything now. It could turn me into an 18-year-old teenager, or if I were an 18-year-old teenager, to an older woman. I'm not going to tell you exactly how old, but it could do that. So there is absolutely nothing they can do to stop kids from carrying knives like this, except for stop and search. Oh no, but we can't do that because black kids might feel like they're being victimised. Right, well, there's your answer. A refusal to confront the issues, but that's something else. I want to talk about James O'Brien's line of thought. So let's just consider what James O'Brien said. How the hell the British government could rein in the powers of big tech companies. So already he's not talking about knives, he's not talking about stop and search, he's talking about controlling big tech. Now, I have on other occasions said that socialists and people of that ilk are very old-fashioned in their mental processes. I mean, you've seen it in the way that Keir Starmer talks to the people as if he's some sort of Middle European dictator. And that's an old-fashioned way of talking because he forgot that there's the internet. Now, even James O'Brien, for all his snappy suits and lack of a tie, has this same Middle European controlling socialist attitude. And he wants to know how the hell the British government can rein in the powers of big tech companies. I'm sorry, they are beyond your ability to control, Mr. O'Brien, or even Sir Keir Starmer. And then it says here, it was on Amazon that the Southport killer bought his knife. Well, goodness me. And what if he bought his underwear from Marks and Spencer's? Now, I want to tell you something else. He bought the ingredients, which they never mention on the reports. He bought the ingredients for ricin, which is the humble castor oil bean, by the way, and everyone knows that. Sorry, I was saving my preferences on the cookies. Here, look, a list of toxic plants in the UK. Deadly nightshade. You see that in any woodland. Foxglove. Lords and ladies. Monkshood. Don't see many of those. That's more a swampy area type of plant, I think. Here, this is hemlock. Gosh, those are all over the place. Daffodils, tulips, crocus, tomato plant. Yeah, tomatoes are also poisonous. They're from the tobacco area of planthood, aren't they? Rhododendrons. I've got rhododendrons in my garden. And let's not get started on mushrooms. So he went for a poison called ricin. He could have easily just found some toxic mushrooms instead. So why aren't they talking about stopping people from going to garden centres or buying plants online? No, what they're doing is they're going for Amazon. That's not because Rudy Cabana bought a knife there. It's because people like James O'Brien just don't like big companies. They don't like enterprise. They don't like big business in any way. Because the government should provide all, really. That's what's behind it. So, let's just hear what James O'Brien said. It was on Amazon that the Southport killer bought his knife. Well, of course, that makes Amazon very culpable, doesn't it? Amazon, of course, is owned by Jeff Bezos. Here we're into the apophenia, by the way. Amazon, that the Southport killer bought his knife. Amazon is owned by Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos was sitting behind Donald Trump at the Trump inauguration. Oh, slam dunk. The man who owns the platform that still hosts and holds the footage that the Southport killer looked before he set off to that Taylor Swift dance class, he was not just sitting in the row directly behind Donald Trump. He is the guy that got on stage and did the Nazi salutes. What he is saying here is that Elon Musk owns the company, which used to be called Twitter, X, and Rudy Cabana looked at stuff on X. Did he look at stuff on TikTok, maybe? How about Instagram? No, he's just going for X because X is a big company and he can hate on that. And then he accuses Elon Musk not only of being so dreadful as to be sitting near Donald Trump during Trump's inauguration, but of making a Nazi salute when he was throwing his arm. It's sort of perfectly obvious to anyone sane that Elon Musk was throwing his arm out in love to the crowd. And then he says, I'm not given to hyperbole, but the aligning of these planets is at the very least notable. No. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. Never call me mad. I'm quoting round the horn there, by the way, Kenneth Williams. I perished the thought that I would call James O'Brien mad. And then he starts talking about the alignment of planets. I mean, look, if he can accuse Elon Musk of making a Nazi salute, I can accuse him of believing in horoscopes. But what the hell can a British government do to rein them in? Because that's the fight they've picked. That doesn't even follow. Now, according to this in the Express, fans, I don't know fans of what, shared their disgust at his comments online. One user penned, I don't say this lightly, but this could be the stupidest thing this guy has ever said. Another fumed, I honestly can't believe this drivel. So, James isn't concerned that Axel was caught 10 times with a knife and was still able to roam free. Even if Amazon had a 2-step ID, Axel would have just waited a couple of weeks till he could buy it. Or he could have easily taken one from a shop or simply raided his mother's kitchen drawer. And then he says here, James, you're so far behind, which is what I'm constantly saying about any sort of socialist type anyway. They're like 50 years back. Well, anyway, yeah, that's it. So I'm not going to call James O'Brien unhinged. That's mostly because I'm worried about what LBC might do to me. So here, he had this chain of reasoning here. Amazon was the company that Rudy Cabana bought the knife from. Amazon is owned by Jeff Bezos. And Jeff Bezos was sitting behind Donald Trump at the inauguration. Right. Apophenia in the context of mental illness refers to the tendency to perceive meaningful patterns or connections between unrelated events, often seen as a symptom in conditions like schizophrenia, where individuals might interpret random occurrences as significant signs or conspiracies against them, even when no such pattern exists. Essentially, it's the act of seeing meaning in randomness taken to an extreme level that can be distressing and disruptive and downright stupid. Oh, okay, well, yeah. Again, I don't say he's Mad. I just noticed something about apophenia which seems, well, coincidental. Till next time, you can help my channel by subscribing and clicking the notification bell. That's quite important. And by sharing if you're so inclined. Links to my other channels and to donation methods are in the description. But the best way you can help is simply by clicking like and notify. Thank you.